Hey everybody, I'm Chad Eckert. That's Joe Idone. This is the Preferred Lines podcast, broadcasting live on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Each and every Monday night, we talk about the betting board, and this week it's the Charles Schwab Challenge. But Joe, I cannot get over last week. We can't. I know we want to get right to the betting board, but we can't because Phil Mickelson has won the PGA Championship. Phil Mickelson, at the ripe age of 50 years young, is the major champion. Can you believe it?
Did that really happen?
Dude, you said he would win again. You had faith. I had no faith.
I did. I will stake this flag firmly. I've said he will win again in the darkest of days. November, December, when he couldn't make a cut. I said this, I made it public, and I bet him because I thought that he would be great at a Linksy-style difficult golf course over at the Open, and I just overlooked the Linksy-style difficult golf course that was the PGA Championship at Kiawah Island.
Interesting.
But awesome for Phil. Like, dude, like it was like a fucking movie scene. Like, was it not? Like, you can't write that story. You can't.
Well, they did. They already wrote it. It was for Tiger at the Masters. I was like, that cannot be topped, and there can't even be anything close to that. And this was basically a rerun, but for Phil as the star actor.
I know. And I think it topped Tiger's win.
No.
I do.
Oh, you think it did?
Yeah, I do. In terms of just how crazy it was, I definitely do. It was everything. It was the old man versus the arrogant machismo. And I love Brooks, but he was everything that Phil is not in a way. So he has a cockiness to him. He's not fan friendly. He does not analyze a single thing about his golf swing. Phil analyzes whether it's a Pels 6 or a 3/4 7 and what the wind's doing on every shot. They could not be more polar opposites. So it had everything, right? And what it had that the Masters did not have was two things. It had an epic battle from start to finish. So a full 18 holes of this madness where it comes from first hole, it looks like it's over, right? Brooks birdies, 2-stroke swing, 3-stroke swing on the following hole. Then he misses a short. He should have been like, it was everything for 4 straight hours. And the other part that was different and what made it cooler to me is when Tiger won, and I had the Tiger ticket, he was 15-1. He had been playing great coming in. He had won the Tour Championship. His form was there, and he was a favorite in that event. He was one of 5 favorites to win the Masters.
Sure.
Phil was as long as they get 250-1 to win a major. Like, that doesn't happen. Doesn't happen ever. He did it. The oldest man to ever win, won on the longest golf course that's ever been played.
It's crazy.
How? It was awesome.
We've got some guys in the chat. Thank you for being here. What it is up to the Hunt Man, and Craig's in here. You got Charlie. He's always a big fan. Here's the thing, Joe.
Craig knows.
I had no faith. Therefore, I did not have any shares of him on DraftKings. I did not bet him. I did not use him on Jock Market. Did you use him on our pals over there, the app Jock Market?
I did not. No, I had a lot of good Jock Market action this week. I had a couple of guys in the top 10. I had 28 shares of Brooks, so that did really well.
Brooks was like $6. I don't even know what Phil was. That's why I wanted to ask. I don't. What did he end up?
I think he was $2.50.
Oh my god.
$2.50 for shares of Mickelson, sold for $25 a share. As you know, with Jock Market, you can get as many shares as you want, right? You can have 100 shares. You can have 2 shares. It doesn't matter. We've got a sweet little promo code PL10 that'll get you a free $10. If you haven't tried that app out yet, it's incredible. It was a ton of fun this last week. I know people enjoyed it a lot, but I'm still like,
well, before we get off the Jock Market, I do want to promote it a little bit further because my little brother is now getting into it a little bit more than he was because I've listening to this program and us talk about it every week. But he's not even doing it for golf; he's doing it for the NBA, and he's loving it. He's making some money. He's able to get in, make his moves, have conclusions and thoughts, and then halftime decide, do I want to be done here? And boom, I pull my money off the table and he's cashing out. So not only is it good for golf, it's great for NBA as well, I'm told. So there you go, Jock Market PL10 promo code there. But yes, I'm very, I mean, I'm still, it's great because it's shocking, but it's really not shocking because it's Phil in a way. But it's fun because then I get the generations, my grandparents, my parents, my kid. I'm like, telling my son that Ace, his grandpa's favorite golfer is Phil, and he's about to win. I mean, it's just like it's bringing us all together. We just love Uncle Phil. So and then we know that he's going to use this forever for bragging rights. We're never going to get rid of Phil. He's going to be in our lives forever. He's great at content. He's funny. The reason, Joe, though, why I did not think he would win again is because he's gone down that road of funny man Phil, kind of a phony, a little bit of a clown, hitting the ball as it's going down the hill in the U.S. Open. So I mean, like he's been that guy for a little bit. So I didn't think that. I thought he was done. I'm like, here he goes off to the sunset.
I'm just not willing in the craziness that is golf and the greatest, like, okay, I'll give you the NFL, but the situation that pro golf is in right now is the second best thing going. Like you can go ahead and watch the NBA playoffs tonight and tell me you get half of the excitement and the adrenaline and the feelings and the emotion that you saw yesterday. You will never see it. It's unbelievable. You have generational stars that our fathers and our grandfathers were rooted for, with Phil and Tiger and Stuart Sink, who just won, and Lee Westwood, who was in contention a couple of weeks ago, and Padraig Harrington, who's top 3, who's a Ryder Cup captain, and Steve Stricker right up there. And then you have the young crop. You've got Morikawa, Scheffler, Wolf, Neiman, Hovland, and then you've got the guys the stalwarts, right? Spieth, Koepka, everything is there right now for pro golf. It's so freaking awesome to see, and I'm glad. And we haven't even talked about it, but this is the 1-year anniversary of us starting this show at the Charles Schwab Challenge in 2020. It's been an incredible year. I can't imagine a major or any moment eclipsing what we just saw with the fans. And you have to take there's so many other factors in it too with what everyone's been through the last year, and it just felt like the PGA Championship stuck a knife in the heart of COVID-19 and it was over.
I love that tweet. Yeah, it's over for sure. You are right in saying that this storyline cannot happen in pretty much any other sport.
Dude, you can't write that. The 50-year-old guy,
like Roger Federer,
pandemic that comes back and is 250-1 and destroys the young major killer.
Right? That's crazy. So, a guy that's won more PGA championships than Phil himself, but has only been in it for so long. Whatever. I think it's great. I mean, it literally is the equivalent of Roger Federer 15 years from now winning Wimbledon. But that's not even. I mean, it's totally not
hard because, and we've seen what makes golf so much better, in my opinion, too, is anything can happen. I'm not anywhere close to writing Tiger off from coming back. Look at what we've seen the last 3 weeks. We've seen 48-year-old Stuart Sink win by 4. We've seen KH Lee, relatively unknown, except for people like us, go off at triple digits and win. And then we see Phil win. You aren't getting this in the NBA. You aren't getting this in the hockey playoffs. You're not going to see anyone 100-1 win consecutive back-to-back weeks. And it's incredible. And I love it.
Why are we even doing this podcast when it's impossible to predict the outcome of golf?
It's impossible. Phil, in his last 15 starts, had 2 top 25s and 7 missed cuts. Where do you see that coming? That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not. I know that you guys out here have gotten on us before. You're just get to the picks, right? Just get to the picks. The picks don't freaking matter, guys.
This is a story forever.
KH Lee just won. It's this, right? And it's everything. And just really cool, really awesome to see. I was fortunate enough to watch the final 9 holes with my buddy who had a large ticket on Phil Mickelson. So that was really cool to just kind of experience that with him, even though I had nothing at stake. It was the biggest bet he had ever won. It was probably the biggest golf bet I've ever seen on an outright.
So he had a $200 bet on Phil at, what was it?
250 to 1. He is a listener. He may be watching the show right now. He watched the show last week, and that was his large. People were well, I want to see his other bets. I can tell you right now, I saw them. That was the largest bet he made of the week. Like he had
And then
Brooks.
you recommend he hedged a little bit. Did he hedge a lot?
I wouldn't say a lot. I think a fair amount on Louis and Streelman, basically enough to cover all of his bets and still come out profitable.
Okay.
But it was not the hedge like you think it's a hedge. It's not like
So
he's
is he going to be
throwing
able to get this money
$5,000
out?
on it. What's
where
that?
Where did he make this bet, and is he going to be able to receive this money? Because we know, Joe, there are some books out there that are reluctant to give it up.
I know it's a lot of money to scoop up, huh? I don't know how that situation is. Apparently, it is a very trusted source, and I'm sure it will be fine. It is not a sketchy Costa Rican offshore situation. So
that will
more than
force
hopeful,
you to take Bitcoin, or
yeah, more than hopeful that it'll be fine. So yeah, it was freaking unbelievable, man. I can't even say anything else about it. It was awesome.
Yeah, congrats to your boy, and congrats to Phil. Was a great week. Was awesome. Now, are we ready to get into the Charles Schwab challenge? It's a mouthful.
We got to talk about the Charles Schwab.
It's actually a good field, Joe. It's crazy.
I'm kidding. I'm ready to go. I'm just still like exhaling off what we saw, but yeah, I'm ready to go. Crack open that board. Crack open that beer. Who we got at the top, pal?
I did want to mention before we get into the betting board that you got to go watch that Bryson content.
Oh, I saw it.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny.
I watched all 28 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty good, actually. It's kind of dumb, but it's good. Oh, and then we need to promote you. You're on our buddy Travis Fulton's show again.
Yep, that's going to come out tomorrow. Travis Fulton, follow him on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever you follow him. We are going to go through the DraftKings board this week. And then Wednesday night, I will be doing, once again, the Jock Market Power Hour with Rick Gaiman. So yeah, just stay tuned to, if you want to watch any of that, if you like that, just check out my Twitter page. I will tweet links of it.
And that is at Tour Picks. All right, Joe, now we're ready to get to the tippity tip top, and you'll see at this sports book, because some of these books have different odds. Jordan Spieth is at the top here at 10.5 to 1. You have a Justin Thomas below that at 13. Now, the numbers have shifted quite a little bit. Even just looking at what we're looking at, which is the DraftKings sports book. It's green and black. It matches our colors. We have no affiliation to this. We cannot bet on this sports book. So we use it as an example, just as a reference. You can find other lines, other places. You can find Morikawa probably different than 15 to 1, but that's what he is here. He is also joined under 20 to 1 by more names. There's Abraham Answer at 17, Finau at 17, Patrick Reed is at 17 on this book. You got Daniel Berger at 19, Cory Connors at 19. There's a jumble of names under 20 to 1. Are you interested in any of them, though, Joe?
Okay, so yeah, in a little bit. I have some different numbers at my particular outlets, but I think Spieth and Thomas are great. It just came down to me, like they were both like 10 to 1, and it was like take Spieth or Thomas or grab one or two other guys, instead of taking a 10 to 1, grab 2 or 3 other guys at 20 to 30 to 1. And that's what I chose to do. What about you? But I feel like it could really be Justin Thomas, like just train wreck this place.
Because he's so mad about last week?
That, and he's just like I feel like the perfect player. The one thing that worries me is it is very tight and very tree lined off of this golf course. So you can't be wayward off the tee, and that is his weakness. But it also plays to his biggest strength, which is approach play, which is creativity around the greens. And if he just putts level to the field and can somehow figure that out a little bit, and I think that I saw him tweeting a little bit about Phil and how he approached and switching the putting grip. I think like something like that could really free him up. Like, just make the putt, right? Like, stop analyzing everything. Just get out there and make you the putt. And what, like, putting is so, and I noticed this, right? It's just some days you have the feel and the touch, and some days you don't. And it's not necessarily about how many strokes you took on the putting green or how many hours of practice. It just is different, right? Like, we've seen Brooks be an incredible putter, and then Sunday, do I think that he choked? No. I just think that he missed a couple of short putts, and that can happen. And your feel goes a little bit, and you miss 2-3 footers that essentially, if he makes both of them, would have gotten him in a playoff. So That's golf. That's what's happened. It's a second place finish. I don't think that he choked. For the record on Brooks.
Okay.
No choke.
I don't think he choked either.
Okay, good.
I mean,
I have some buddies that are like, he just rubs a lot of people the wrong way, and I get that. So they're quick to, oh, Brooks blew it, all this stuff. He sucks. Look at his record and his score to par in the major championships, and he's 4 times as good as anyone else over the last 5 years.
Plus he's hurt.
And, it's like you want to say that he chokes, but where was JT?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Rory? Where's DJ? Like, did they choke or did they just, he still finished second? I mean, come on. 9 weeks, 8 weeks, post operating room. He's in a major championship finishing second. So great performance by him. I, for one, appreciated the way that he acted. I know that some people did not. I think
his comments post Ronald.
Not so much that, right? So I'm not taking a ton away from that. Like he's an angry little blib at the end. Like he obviously don't even talk to Brooks. He's going to say something that's like obvious that he's going to be irritated. Of course he says that. I like what you're saying. What you're going to say is maybe that he was just hanging out. Like he was a good partner to be with, just like with Paul Casey at the PGA, or I think it was last year, where like he is out of the way if he's not, he's not. I don't know. I think yes, he was fine. He plays fast. He was never disrespectful in any way. He cleared the stage for him on 18. Mm-hmm. Was he pissed off? Yeah. That's his persona.
Because he wants to win.
Works himself into a competitive bull rush at these events. So you expect him to sit there and bow down. He's not going to do it. Now give him a day or so. Like he'll calm down. He'll give him the respect that he do. He'll send the congratulatory tweet. I'm sure he'll send him a text but people wanted him to be give him the coronation on 18. Like that's not not him, right?
He's not a Ricky Fowler.
Felt like he blew it in to some degree. Had he played better, he's looking at his par 5s, right? He was number 1 in par 5s over the week, and he was 5 over on the first 3 par 5s on Sunday. Like he knows he lost that event in some respects.
Well, so did Jordan Spieth lose the event also? Because Jordan was fine and doing okay with all other clubs but his putter as well. So then do we go to Jordan here, who has the course history, is playing great? I mean, there's arguments that could be made for Spieth over JT, but I do agree, though. JT, we've seen it before. He's had an interview with Amanda Balionis, and he's angry, and I'm like, JT looks a little irritated and mad. Watch out for him next week, and then he'll win the next week. So there is that about Justin Thomas where he'll just pick himself up. Jordan Spieth, though, at 10.5 to 1, I don't know if I can get there. I mean, I know he's got the abilities here at this course or whatever. 10 to 1 is too deep for me. I don't even know if I want anyone under 20 to 1.
Yeah, so I took someone at 22. But yeah, and it's not that way on this particular book. But yeah, same with you. I just can't. I'm not ready for JT at 12 or at 10 to 1. Actually, mine is at 10 or Spieth at 10 to 1 this week. They could both win, of course. Spieth, incredible course history. JT, the best approach player besides maybe Morikawa, but I'd rather take a couple of guys up further.
What about BPR? Always bet Patrick Reed. I found a 20 this morning, so I hit it. Always bet him.
Ding, 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 ding. You win. Right. Yes, Patrick Reed, 22 to 1. I took that. So these are the guys around Patrick Reed on the odds board right now. Abraham Answer is 18 to 1, and Patrick Reed's 22 to 1. I'm looking at Bovada on my other screen right here. So these numbers are active. Abraham Answer, 18 to 1. The same odds as Patrick Reed. Scotty Scheffler, Tony Finau, Will Zalatoris, Cory Connors, Sungjae Im is 25 to 1. Those 6 guys, those 6 players I just named, have 2 combined PGA Tour wins between the 6 of them. Patrick Reed has 9. He's won WGCs. He's won major championships. He's done everything. Like, if you're going to take a guy there, take the guy going back from Texas, plays in the wind. This is an around the green course. He gets up and down like nobody else. Top 7 here last year. I think a 7th place finish here last year. It's a no-brainer. 22-1. Just bet it. If you just bet Patrick Reed every time he plays, you are up. You're up a lot because he wins at a rate that outproduces his betting number consistently. Because I think part of it is people don't like him. People don't want to bet him, so they're going to price him above Abe Answer this week. They're going to price him with Scotty Scheffler and Finau and these guys who don't like. Just take Pat Reed. Just take it.
No, it's like they truly don't like him and his wife and what they do off the court. He's a cheater. Whatever.
He's blocked me on Twitter, but I can get past it, guys.
I can get past it too, and I'm on it. Now, the 20s. Well, we could talk about Cory Connors because people might want to bet Cory Connors. Are you thinking that he could win a tournament here?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, same.
I think he can definitely win. His iron play is incredible. Same with Zalatoris, same with Answer. Like, I'm just looking at this strictly, should he be the same odds as Patrick Reed to win? I'm not talking about who's going to lead in strokes gained approach or who's going to hit the most fairways. I'm talking about who's going to win the golf tournament. And if you're betting outrights, that's all that matters because your fourth place Abe Answer and your eighth place Cory Connors don't matter in this market.
No, and DraftKings are on Jock Market.
Sure.
That's why maybe you don't do these people at the top. You just kind of go into the names in the 20s. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I love the names in the 20s. I'm all about Will Zalatoris. I do feel like this feels like a Morikawa situation where you kind of knew he's good. Everyone told you he could hit the ball like a maniac, and he's got these finishes. He's starting to get more attention and publicity, and then he'll finally break through. And to be honest with you, at 25-1, it feels fair. So I think I got it at 25-1 or 22-1. Either way, I'm okay with that number. And I'm also into the skinny guys this week because I took Neiman at 20. Well, actually, there's a book out there that's placing pretty high odds on Neiman at 40. So I grabbed a 40, I think it was. I can't even believe it's 40. So I got a 40 on Neiman, so I took it.
Got it as well. Neiman at 40, no brainer, just based on the odds, based on the form. 18 straight cuts made on the PGA Tour, longest active streak, and those are some good performances. Right now, ball striking, he's top 10. Par fours, which are going to be extremely important this week. There are only 2 par fives on the course. The par threes are relatively difficult. The bulk of the scoring that we've seen year over year at Colonial is made on the par fours. He is second on the PGA Tour in that regard. Everything sets up great for Neiman, and 40 was just too good to be true.
Yeah. So I'm out. I don't care if it was 26.5-1. I still do like Neiman. Like, I might even do that. I'm confused though at the names in the 30s because there's some Brian Harman is ahead of Scheffler, Horschel, who won the match play and has had really good finishes. You got Kokrak, who won in the fall. You got Justin Rose there and Im, who's won. Why would they have Harman at 30?
Oh, I don't know. Like, the books seem to be a little all over the place this morning. I think a lot of them are still recovering from the PGA and just maybe not dialed in on golf on a Monday after a major championship with everything else that's going on with hockey, with NBA. So, yeah. I mean,
Birdie Bryan is good. I mean, he's not bad.
He's playing incredible right now. He's playing incredible. This is a perfect. You would script this golf course for Brian Harman to win.
Sure. Yes.
These are one of the spots on tour. What about Sungjae though? Like, are we ready to get back on Sungjae? Because 35-1 feels like a ridiculous price for him in this field. And I saw a lot of really good things last week at the PGA Championship that I can get behind the ball striking. I can get behind the technician type golf course where it's 3-iron to 8-iron, like on a par 4. And that's where he really excelled. That's where he excelled at the Honda on a shorter type par 70 golf course. So are we there? Sungjae, are you back? You're the Sungjae whisperer, so you tell me.
I love going all in, and I do like him this week. I immediately opened the betting board this morning, and I saw it 33, so I grabbed a 30 or 33. I can't remember exactly.
Okay. Yep. Let me see. Yeah, I think there are some good numbers out there.
Dude, Sungjae is preparing to have the summer of his life, because we know Sung Jae is motivated. This is the Olympic year. We thought it might be last year. So maybe he kind of reset himself. And that's what you saw of Sung Jae a little bit there before the Master. Like he kind of had a lull in his world. But maybe that was on purpose, because we know these guys go up and they go down, and then they go up and then they go down again. And then Sung Jae may be beginning to have his upward trend. And everybody said before the PGA last week that this guy can't play well at majors. He hates hard courses. He hates hard tournaments, and he basically was as good as anybody. So I'm okay looking past just the past stats that make him not pop in your model, and thinking in my head that he knows that this is the summer of Sung Jae. We know he's one of the best golfers there are with the golf club. Like, he's literally that person. So he deserves to be up with these names. He's kind of a little bit ignored because he's a baby boy, Sung Jae Im. I don't know. Maybe he saw KH Lee and he's inspired. Maybe he's got this summer of Sung Jae. I have no idea, but I think it's past the stats. He definitely knows how to swing and hit the ball and have it go close to the hole. So let's go. I think this is a chance to get another win for Sung Jae.
Yeah, the rhythm seems to be there. I'm just waiting for him to kind of have that really great putting week, which always sort of brings him through and into a top 5. 8th at the Honda, 13th at the Heritage a couple of weeks ago, and then 17th last week at the PGA. So the form is, he's even in the models, Chad, he's not terrible.
Is he?
Like, he's not playing badly. He actually rates out really well, and I just think that this is a spot where we're catching a little drift. Look, like I said earlier, you can bet Justin Thomas and you can bet Jordan Spieth at 10-1, or you can grab 3 of these guys. Like, you can take Reed, Sung Jae, Neiman, and basically stake the same amount. And I think that those 3 combined, I would give a better chance to win this week than the 1.
Okay. I'm glad you mentioned that about Sung Jae popping in the models, because we, on the Fantasy Golf Pod tomorrow night, Joe, we're going to pick lineups using a hat.
I can't wait.
And then we're going to pick lineups using a Fantasy National Golf Club model. So guess what? Join us tomorrow live on the Fantasy Golf Pod YouTube page as we make lineups using that method, Eric and I, just to see which one performs better. Is it a model or is it luck out of a hat? Because we know this is gambling. So just be careful out there. If you have a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We are not encouraging you to bet a lot of money. We are encouraging you to do this for fun, and we'll encourage you to maybe take a longer shot. Maybe go 40s or so. And who was there? Let's go look, because we talked about most of these names. I do kind of like Horschel, and that number is 35 is fine. But I'm not writing home about it. Do you have any interest in the 40 range? We have Griot, Hoffman, Palmer. Well, he is 50. Now, again, it depends on what book you're looking at, because we've already seen some drastic differences between these people, because it is golf and nobody knows what's going to happen.
So, yes, to answer your question, I do have some interest here. I have a Charlie Hoffman 55-1 bet that I have placed.
He's feeling it.
Really good right now, right?
Yeah.
He's found something with his irons. Travis Fulton, who I will do the show with tomorrow, had his swing coach on and said that this is the best he's ever hit it in his career, and he is this close to coming through. We saw him right there at the Valero with Spieth, which was also in Texas a few weeks ago, the week before the Masters, right?
Charlie Hoffman.
Right there then. He gave me, because I had him at a huge number last week, there were a couple of moments where it felt like he was ready to really make a run, where I think that he would get it to -2, -3, and then the implosion happened. We saw that with a number of guys, but four straight top 20s, 6 of his last 7 have been top 20s, going all the way back to the Florida swing. So great guy in a platform like Jock Market. I think makes a ton of sense in DraftKings, and I think is worth an outright ticket at anything probably 50-1 and above.
Do you think that these guys, Joe, are a little upset when they get snubbed from majors, like Hoffman did at the Masters and Fowler did recently, and then they have to rely on invites and their pride is hurt and their egos are damaged? Do you think that they come in they're getting up earlier, they're going to the gym more, they're doing more because they're angry and motivated? That has to be an issue or the thing, right?
It has to be to some degree. I think it depends on the player, but I think that is Ricky in the field this week?
No, but I'm just saying last week we saw him pop. It's like Bryson in the 28-minute video, dude. He is putting time in. How can Bryson not become the best golfer of all time in the next 20 years? Because I don't see how anyone's working harder than Bryson. I swear to God, there's no one on tour that's doing more, because Bryson has no fucking life. And all he does is he hangs out with these 3 nerds and they're just friends trying to swing as fast as they possibly can. So guess what? This 26-year-old dude has $1 bazillion and he's building out all of this stuff to make himself swing faster. That's not going to help him. Look at Phil Mickelson at age 50. It obviously helps him. So I'm like, super into the guy that actually cares, the dude that's motivated, the guy that felt snubbed, the dude that's not at home dealing with a baby. Wah, John Rahm, feed me. Not those people. We don't want those people. We want people like this Hoffman guy that felt snubbed that he didn't get into the Masters, where we know he's first round leader every time. So he couldn't get on the national worldwide stage this April there. So here he wants this. He's trying to win the Charlie Hoffman Open not even that long ago, popping in everyone's models with his iron play. Coach is saying he's playing the best ever. Here we go.
We're in. That's enough said.
Thank you.
Funny take on Bryson there. That's funny. Yeah, it seemed like his whole life just revolves around either eating or like hitting in that batting cage that he has in his house, basically.
God, wouldn't you love to be him though?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I just feel something is so ungenuine about Bryson, and maybe that's a bad take, because at this point it's so consistent that it almost has to be genuine, right? It felt like a year ago all of this content and the stuff that he would do was so produced and fake, but now it's like maybe that's just how this freaking guy is. But
all right, well, we got the names I got to ask you about, Joe. There's people that competed last week. Do you care if they were in contention last week? Does that make you nervous that they're fatigued? Or are you thinking that Kevin Streelman here at 55 or Gary Woodland, who were popping last week, are going to be worth betting at 55?
It's a tough question to answer.
I don't know.
I worry about it a little bit. Hoffman is going home. He's going to Texas. He's going to a place where I think that he feels very comfortable that he can win. I think Woodland's in that boat. Like Streelman, you could put in that boat too. So, yeah, I think when you're this level of player and you know that victories could be 1, 2, 3, 4 years apart and you're in good form, play everything. Right. Yeah. You never know what the week's going to bring. And if you're striking the ball well and you're feeling good about your golf swing, tee it up.
What about then Phil? Because it Phil at 70-1 here on this sports book. Is that someone that we can go back to? Phil was up all night tweeting. How in the hell is he going to play a golf tournament on Thursday?
I can't get there on Phil.
He's going to be drinking coffee, probably.
He drinks 8 cups of coffee a day. He said that every 7 days he fasts for 36 hours. I'm like, this guy's a maniac, dude. He's kind of crazy, but he looks great. He doesn't look 50, and it's work for him. I think that Tiger should not do this, but he should take a page out of Phil's playbook in that. Get my body right, number one. Like, get myself feeling healthy. And Phil is, whether it's like the placebo effect and that what he's doing just makes him think he's feeling better. He said that he feels the best he ever has in his life. He feels healthier. He's got more energy, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Tiger needs to get there, and he'll be back.
Okay, Joe, it's 80 degrees here in my garage. I am out in my garage, as you might know if you follow the pod, and it's gone from very cold 60-degree, 50-degree days here in Minnesota to now it's humid and hot, and it is sticky warm. So I want to get through these last few long shots and see what you have to say about Cameron Tringale is now at 66-1. Are you interested in that now?
That feels like a really good bet. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to pass on it, but it does feel like if you've been on Tringale and you've been making money on him because he's been playing incredible, you have to bet this number at 66-1 when he was the leader through 1, 2, 3 rounds, I think, at the Valero, right?
Yeah, and he's known to do that first round
leading at the Honda, and he does everything well that suits him. Do you worry a little bit that the like 16 over par that he went over a 3-hole stretch kind of like stuck a fork in him?
Well, he at least didn't knock the ball marker off with his club.
What did he do?
Well, he at least didn't smash the T marker with his club in anger,
Yeah.
like
Some
EVR.
pretty embarrassing actions by some players.
Seriously. All right. What about Matt Wallace? That's been a guy that's had some good form, and we see him here at 70-1, and he's not very commonly known. So maybe he'd be more like 50 or 40-1 if he was a household name, Matt Wallace.
I want to see Matt Wallace on a course with par fives with a little bit more open fairways, and that he can just do damage tee to green, which I think is a strength. I don't want to see him at a course necessarily with a lot of irons off the tee, and that around the green game is going to become very important. So even though I had Wallace last week and I thought was a pretty good play, I'm not going to bet him this week.
So then are you going to Kevin Na, who's basically a whisperer for this place?
No, not betting Kevin Na either.
Okay, and then Siwoo Kim has been good this year. Any interest? He's the same number at 70-1 as Na and Wallace.
No, who I did take, who I think is around this number in most books, who actually, if you have a MyBookie account right now, he's 125-1.
It's ridiculous.
This is a hot tip right here. 125-1. Every other book, he's like 50 or 60. Chris Kirk. Chris Kirk has won this event at this course before. Chris Kirk is playing great. He is one of the best around the green players in the field. Let me see here. I had some other good Chris Kirk stuff. Ball striking, par four scoring, around the green at this course, specifically putting. Like, he's doing a lot of things that I'm looking at this week really well. And if you have the opportunity to jump to 125-1 on someone that's basically universally 55 or 60-1 elsewhere, you should just almost blindly take it.
Sure. We like Chris Kirk. We're a fan of him on the Fantasy Golf Pod.
Yeah.
All right. So, Joe, any more info? Or are we going to wait for you and Rick on Wednesday and talk about the Jock Market then?
No, you got it. Well, let's talk bombs. You got any bombs like triple digits, 100-1? We just seen 250-1 hit. We just seen 100. Like, let's get some bombs in. You got anyone you like?
What's funny is that I didn't take any. I went with the guys in the 20s, and I went with Sung J M at that 30 number. I've got a smaller card. I'm going less exposure, but I'm going more at that condensed 20-1 range. I'm feeling like that's where the win equity is. I might actually do that more often than I'm doing anything, because I love throwing $1 at everyone, but that doesn't help. When the 1 week I should have thrown $1 on everyone was last week on Phil, and I didn't hit it. Hey, it's early in the week, Joe. I might get down to somebody at that 150-1 level, and I did knock $1 on Sam Burns one time for 90-1. So you do end up saving your weeks by doing that. So I might actually get into that. Otherwise, Joe, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Jock Market on Wednesday night, right before IPO. I'm going to go to the $3 range, and I'm going to pepper the $3 range and make sure that I got my portfolio of about 10 guys in that $3 to $4 or $5 range on Jock Market, and hope that they go up to the top 10. And boom, I'm making some money.
Good stuff, man. I got two quick ones, and then we'll get out of here. We'll try to make it a short show this week.
Bramlett bomb. Someone,
this week.
Cecil's got his house on Bramlett.
Oh, Jesse, Bramlett bomb. Yeah, I had Bramlett a couple of weeks ago on Jock Market. Big turns there. But Harry Higgs is 140-1. You got to love Harry Higgs, right? Everybody loves Harry Higgs. Top 4 last week at the PGA Championship. Got himself
crazy because we never saw a single swing of his.
We could have really used more. We didn't really talk about the coverage. I don't want to get into it too much.
Yeah, that's every week.
We could have used more Harry Higgs last week.
My dad would not have want more Harry Higgs. That's the problem. And then my dad is the one buying those Genesises for $80,000.
But your dad isn't buying PGA Tour Live and NBC Sports Gold, which is where they make their money. Your dad isn't sweating the Charles Schwab Challenge at 8 a.m. on Thursday with a 3-ball matchup. So
my dad did incorrectly add up my scorecard on the golf course the other day. Did you see that tweet?
No, I didn't.
Dude, my dad added it up. So I go to my car. I'm like, oh, cool. I shot this, set it off, throw it up on Twitter. Oh, boom. Wait a second. I had a birdie on number 13 and he gave it to himself. So that's wrong. And then someone said, like, you're sandbagging the wrong way. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he gave me an extra 5.
Immediately flagged.
Yeah, so I'm like,
Twitter
wait a
phase
second,
route.
Dad, you're fucking me over. So
You can't
Mike
get
Eckert was in
anything
the
past
chat
Twitter
last week. It
phase.
wasn't Mike Eckert, my dad. It was Mike Eckert, our friend of the program. But yes, the Mike Eckerts of the world, they own the Golf Channel. They're the ones making the decisions because they're all gray hair boomers. So what we can do, Joe, is we can always complain about it, but it's just going to go into nowhere. No,
It's going to go how it goes. I know. I'm not going to complain about it anymore. Okay. 250 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Digging in the dirt.
Oh, I saw him on DraftKings at like 6,300. I talked about it on the first look today. Jeez,
Yep.
why is he snubbed? All of a sudden
He's playing good. He's playing good. He's putting great on bent grass on a course that anywhere you see previous winners are not in Spieth, it's a putter's course, right? It's a putting contest. Give me Denny McCarthy, 250 to 1.
I like that.
That's all I got right now. It's early in the week, still trying to digest some stuff from the PGA. So I hope you guys like the show this week.
So then follow Joe on Twitter at Tour Picks. I am at Edina Realty. Did you know, Joe, my real name is Charles?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Long story. I'm named after my grandpa, but there's a kid that my parents knew that was named Charlie or Charles. They called him Charlie. And then his dad was Charlie. So he was already little Charlie and big Charlie. So they were friends with my parents. And then they wanted to name me Charles because my grandpa, whatever. So now they're like, go with Chad. I'm like, so then first day of school every year at kindergarten, first grade, Charles Eckert. And all my friends are like, Charles? Your name is Charles?
Charles?
Charles Schwab. This is it. This is the tournament for me, Charles Eckert. You know, that's why I'm Charles H. Eckert. That's why I go by Chi. That's why Chi Rodriguez was one of my favorite players growing up. I don't need to tell that story, but there you go. You can follow me at Edina Realty because I'm a realtor for Edina Realty.
Good stuff. Love you, buddy. We'll see you next week. Good luck, everyone.
Hey, thanks, boys and girls. Liking that subscribe thing, whatever it's called. Hit the rate and review. Follow us on Twitter. Comment. Thank you for being here.
Cheers. Let's get another one.
Oops, I forgot to do this. All right, here we go. Bye, Joe. Love you.
See you, bud. Happy anniversary. Happy birthday.
Yes, birthday of the pod.
Buy a shirt.
1 year ago. And sign up for the Jock Market. Join Joe on Wednesday night. That's a fun show. I'm always in the chat. We'll be there Wednesday, 9 Eastern. IPO. Bye-bye. My computer's being so slow today. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.